There are a ton of places in Diablo 2 Resurrected that you could choose to farm, but it seems like at certain times of the game, a lot of people tend to always choose Andariel. Now, why exactly is that? Now, first off, what do characters usually use through the first half, maybe the first 2/3 of the game? Most characters, with the exception of maybe like the Barbarian, are always using some version of fire skills. Early on, fire skills are incredibly powerful. You're using like the fire exploding arrow on the Amazon, whether you're using things like Fireball, the Fire Druid is incredibly powerful, and the Fire Trap Assassin, absolutely amazing, slapping down monsters like crazy in Diablo 2 Resurrected. So when you first jump into Nightmare, you might need some better gear, and the first big boss you come across is Andariel. Now, actually, crazy enough, if we look at Andariel's resistances, here's normal Andariel, it's 50 for cold, 50 for lightning, but minus 50 for fire. Yeah, she actually takes extra damage from fire skills relative to the other ones, and Chicks is very high poison, just take that in note. But the important thing is the very low fire resistance. So any of those skills that you're using, any of those super powerful ones from early in the game is great when you jump into Nightmare, and even in Nightmare it's minus 50 to farm Andariel, so you can really take her out even faster. Now, that weakness to fire being the first one, but secondly, it's pretty easy to get down to Andariel. First off, on the first level, you can see the map in my upper left-hand corner. Wherever you're at the waypoint, you just turn right, and that's going to be the way down to the next level. So that would be the level 3 of the catacombs. And there, we're down to level 3. Unfortunately, on this level, you just got to fly around and try to figure out where to go. But at least at first level, you can get out of the way super easy. Also, when we come across some monsters here, look at these zombies. Incredibly slow. Doesn't look particularly scary, huh? Because it's not really. A lot of the monsters on the way down here are pretty weak or pretty slow. They're just Act 1 monsters. So that is another reason that just kind of not a super dangerous area in order to get down to this boss. You don't have to deal with things like dolls and souls that you have to in a lot of other areas. And then once you're down here for Nightmare, you can hit Andariel a bunch of times and go ahead and take her out, since she does have that weakness to fire. And on top of that, when you do take out Andariel, if there were any monsters around, you see that one right there? They just drop dead. Those monsters can actually drop great items as well. Now, when you're farming Andariel, what could you even find? This is just Nightmare Andariel. Is there even anything good? Now, there definitely is, and these are just some examples. Here you can find things like Skin of the Viper Magi. You can find Trang's Gloves, great for casters. Mage Fists, you can find Frostburns, you can find Gold Wrap, and you can actually, from Nightmare Andariel, actually find the coveted Stone of Jordan, the SOJ. And in fact, Nightmare Andariel kind of is known as being the best dropouts, the best place to actually find that SOJ if you're really searching for it. And since there's a big step up, kind of in difficulty, normal to Nightmare, they get more health, they deal more damage to the monsters, they can have different affixes and things like that. Getting and farming better gear right off the bat at a super simple area is obviously going to be a great choice. Okay, but now we're moving into Hell difficulty, and I would assume, right, Andariel still a great place to farm. Well, all those reasons I said before still apply. Generally, the way down there is easy. You can read the first map level, pretty dang simple to find your way down to the next level. It's right at the beginning of Hell. There's a big step up in difficulty, so getting better gear right off the bat is going to be something you're really going to want to do. I don't have any examples of them right here, but actually Hell Andariel can drop a ton of absolutely amazing, useful stuff. The most noteworthy, and the one that everybody always kind of wants from Andariel, is the Shaco, which would be a great replacement up here for this 3 topaz helm I got right now, but all kinds of other things. You can get stuff like the Oculus here. You can, of course, even Hell Andariel can drop the SOJ. You can get things like Ravenfrost, Nagel Rings, with a bunch of magic find. There really is a ton. You can get War Traps, Ariad's Face. It goes on and on and on and on and on. The number of things that Andariel can drop. Now, she can't drop literally everything. You're not getting your Ractus Meshes and things like that. You're not getting your TC-87 items. You're not getting Astrians or like Tyrael's Might or super rare things. You're not getting a D-Web. You're not getting a Wind Force, but a ton of incredibly useful items that people really, really want to get, especially at the beginning of ladder or at the beginning of starting a single player for their characters. Now, just to kind of show it real quick, a brand new map right here. And yeah, you're going to come down and you're going to turn right. And it will be right here. It's always going to be to the right of the waypoint. You just go as right as possible the way down to the next level. Bing, bang, boom. Now you just got to teleport around and just kind of try to get lucky and find it. But as you see, once again, slow monsters that are not particularly dangerous. Those dogs that shoot the lightning or whatever out of their mouths. Those ones can be a little bit intimidating, but that's about the only thing you really need to worry about. So now we're down to the next level, and you know, she still has that negative 50 to fire resistance. So fire can still work really good against Andariel, but there's a little bit of wrinkle into the thing right here. These ghouls are immune to fire, and actually these dark ones, this version of the carvers, are also immune to fire. But at this point, a lot of times people would go ahead and switch their build up a little bit and use something else, perhaps a cold spell. So now that we actually have the cold spells, we can go ahead and drop these blizzards right on the monsters' heads, a-okay, and take out all these ones that are immune to fire. It makes it way, way easier. And also, while not being as easy as the Mephisto mode trick that a lot of people know about, you can just run around these barrels, dropping down the blizzards, and as Andariel runs around, she'll run through the blizzard and eventually get taken out. Andariel cannot shoot her poison attack through these particular barrels over here, so as long as you stay on the other side of them when she shoots, you'll be a-okay. Boom, down goes Andariel, and nothing great this time, but you can see a few set items, a few rares, and obviously you're looking for those super awesome uniques. Now, Andariel normally can't drop a lot of the super rare stuff, maybe things like Arachnid's Mesh Unit, Griffin's Eye, and things like that, but if Andariel's actually terrorized, I'm not going to go into fully explaining, it could be its own 10-minute video if I really went into every little detail of why terrorized Andariel is actually bananas, the way her loot drop table works when Andy is actually terrorized. I'm going to throw up a quick clip right here. I actually found one of the rarest items in the entire game from Andariel, and there's been stories of people finding things like multiple griffins in an hour and things like that because of Andy's, like, I don't know if it's a bugged loot table. I'm assuming it wasn't completely intended, but they ended up leaving it that way. So yeah, Andariel that is terrorized is actually probably the absolute best magic find location for finding incredibly rare uniques in the entire game. And yes, all the other stuff I said before also applied with the speed and the ease, the weak monsters and all that stuff as well. And of course I know it's coming. Yeah, Phil, you're using a sorceress. Of course it's quick then. Well, that's the reason why so many people start single player and ladder off with a sorceress. But if you're any other character, such as my necromancer right here, you can go ahead and get yourself a teleport staff that you can literally shop from anywhere. Just a little quick tip at the end here, or this Nature's Puzzler, a set item that you can usually trade for online for next to nothing, kind of semi-rare to find, but next to nothing. And then you can go ahead and teleport your way down to Andariel that way. So you really can get there super quick with any character. And even if you're not using the teleports for going straight through there, because sometimes you only get like 30 charges, you can at least use the teleports to jump walls that you really can't get through, kind of speeding it up. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe up for future Diablo 2 Resurrected videos. Huge shout out to the patrons, to the Twitch subs, and of course the channel members here right on this channel. With your guys' support, you make it possible for me to keep streaming and constantly putting out good videos for Diablo 2 Resurrected and Diablo 4 over on my D4 channel, and to make sure I can consistently stream as well. So I am eternally grateful to each and every one of you that do support the channel. Peace out, fellas, and don't forget, keep slaying.